Well, welcome back everyone. I'm 100 Visions Guy, and we're doing I'm going to do some other of these quick and dirty Photoshop tutorials, Photoshop text effects. This comes from design.tuts plus for tutorials plus 6 quick and dirty Photoshop text effects from scratch by Collis Taid. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right or not. I already have one on quick gold, but I wanted to do the plastic fantastic, so that's what we're going to work on. I got Photoshop open, and let's just pop this thing open and start working. Okay, everything's a little slow today. Just going to create a new file. We're going to just do web, and then we've got some custom different designs, and we'll just do the 800 by 600 for now. Desktop screens are now high def, so the width to height ratio is a little different. The other thing you might want to think about is on our high pixel mobile devices or high dots mobile devices, you may want to take a look at resolution and adjust that and increase it. For now, I'm just going to keep it normal and we'll just call it plastic. All of these are involving some type of text and some series of layer styles primarily. One of the things I like to do is match the background of the tutorial to get a general idea. Best way to do that is just to copy the image, paste it in, and then, by the way, there is no right click and paste. You have to just do Control V or click Edit Paste. So there's the plastic. I'm going to get this gradient. It's a radial gradient from this color blue out to somewhere around here. So this top one here will be for the color that's the gradient starts with, and then this color down here is sort of the end of the gradient, which is there. Two different color codes. I can delete that layer now. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to double click on my background layer to unlock it. Lock is gone. I want to get my gradient tool. It is hiding under the paint bucket. There's my gradient. That's the gradient I'm looking for. I'm going to make sure it's radial. And do not check reverse because we want to start clicking here and click out to about there. And there it is. Let's take a look. Pretty good. Theirs is maybe a little bit higher, so I might start a little higher and then go down like so. Maybe not so far. Probably pretty good. All right, so we're going to get our type layer. We're not going to spend too much time worrying about it. Now, I've been doing some illustrations in my classes and going really large, so we're going to try a 72-point font, and let's go back, and we need to find a big, like a black, chunky font, one really large. Let's see if they suggest what font they use. They don't, so I'm just going to pick one that would be a good equivalent. So we want to look for block-type quotes, ones that have the word like black in them. Good example would be Arial Black, for example. Did I say for example? I probably said it too many times. Arial, oh, we don't have an Arial Black. Okay, fine. So I'll go ahead and find a font. So I ended up using Gill Sans Ultra Bold, but just find one that's nice, big, and chunky. Go back to our tutorial, take a look at what it says. Anything about the colors, it is a lot of green, so we may want to start with the green, but let's read the instructions to make sure we do it right. Okay, so I read through all the text, and I didn't see anything saying what color to start with. So I went to looking for the overlay is the first thing I want to look at. On the overlay, if the opacity of the blend happens to be anything less than 100%, then it may have an impact on what color we use. I'm going to start with a white color and apply all this stuff, and then later on, if it doesn't look right, we can mess around with the colors too. So this is just like the quick gold or the metal where we actually have two separate layers. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead. I've written out 100. I'm going to click something else. If you look on my layer, it says 100. I'm going to duplicate that layer. So I've got a copy and then the one under it. So now we have two copies of each. If obviously I'm going to put Visions and I'm going to put Guy, so they're going to be each on their own line, each be their own layer. But for now, I'm just going to use the styles just like I've done on my other tutorial and start looking at the styles on here. I'm going to start with white color text and get the gradient overlay. Another trick I'm going to do is to try to get my colors. Actually, so I'm going to I'm just going to copy this image like I did before. I'm going to paste it in. So now I have that, and I'm just going to move it off to the side a little bit. I want to be able to see my text as we go. And so now I'm going to take the top layers where I'm going to apply the styles, and I'm actually just going to click on FX, which is for layer styles, and the first one was gradient overlay. So I'm going to zoom in on my text here, see if it lets me do that. I probably have to cancel. I just want to zoom in a little bit so that we can see what's going on. That's a little too tight. Let me zoom out. Okay, sorry, just do effects on here, gradient overlay, normal, opacity is 84. And then I want to match the gradients you see here. There's a color here, and then possibly here's the last color, so I think I'm going to try it that way. I'm going to move my gradient editor down. First color stop, one on the left, click the color, pull my color right out of that gradient. Notice the tip of my eyedropper. I want to get the tip is where I want to click it. So we get that color, looks good. Click OK. I'm going to add another color stop. It looks like it's about a quarter of the way in. I'm just going to click about here, click my color, and then click right about there. A little bit darker. And I'm going to go to the last color stop, click the color down here, and pick this final color. And then click OK and just see if my gradient looks about right. It looks pretty good. I could probably move this color stop over more, so I am. I'm going to do that. Click OK. All right. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Pretty good. Let me do one more adjustment. If I click on a color stop, you see you have these. I'm going to move that over a little more. That's probably as good as I'm going to get. 84, reverse is not checked. Linear, align. My degrees is 90, theirs is 90. Okay, we're good on there. All right, so I got that. I need to click on this layer and move it up. So now we're going to do blend mode overlay. So now I get to just click on here. Overlay. What is it? Inner shadow, excuse me. Inner shadow, blend mode overlay. There's my blend mode overlay. This is the color I want, so I click on the color, click here, click OK, overlay. I need to type in 100, 100%, angle of -90. Can't miss any of these or it starts messing with stuff. We're going to use, our values are 206, oh, wrong one, 206. So you can see my text is starting to look right. It's looking a lot closer to what we have. I'm going to double check the contour. See, my contour is a straight level one like that. We want a contour that's more rounded. Let's click the down arrow, look to see if they've got one. That looks like the right contour. So I've got that noise of 0. Let's see where my noise is at. Good, that's 0. Click OK. I believe I have everything correct on there. Now we've got to move that layer up. Check the next style, which is inner glow. Inner glow. My inner glow, I want blend mode of overlay, opacity of 100. We want noise of 0. This looks the same, but I'm just going to check this color to be safe. Yeah, that was off a little. Definitely want that. Got our elements here. Move this over. Okay, technique is softer. Edge, choke. Need to do a choke of 0.2 for the size. Contour looks right. Everything else looks good. Click OK. It's definitely looking more and more like it. Click my layer. Move it up. Should be the last one. Bevel and emboss. This is always an important effect. Make sure you check these carefully, there can be issues. So inner bevel, smooth, so see that's 351, this is only at 100. So a depth of 351, really increase the depth. It is a direction of down. Now let's look at the difference. That's up, this is down. Looks ugly, but we're not done. Part of it's the size of 5, switch it down to 1, a little more subtle. Soften 0, angle, the angle was 90, so we're going to make that 120. Change the angle. Gloss contour. We need this. And then we're going to do overlay. Highlight mode is not screen, it is overlay. Got a lot of overlay. Color is that minty green, which is right there. Click OK. Opacity is only 2. Multiply, we'll make sure the color is right. Click the color, click OK. It should be multiply with an opacity of 0. Not entirely sure why I did that, but there we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks just like it. We're done with that layer. I'm going to hide it. And there's our first layer on the top. We got it. Now, let's just create the next layer. I'm going to click on here, and I'm going to type visions. And I'm going to click here, right-click, copy layer style. Right-click here, paste layer style. Oh, we forgot to duplicate that layer. So we duplicate the layer. The one on top gets the effects. I take them off the bottom layer. There's visions. Let's move those 2 layers down just a bit. Actually, what we're going to do to be a little bit careful, while these 2 are selected, I'm going to click on here to link the 2. I'm going to do the same thing with these 2. Link them. They're separately linked. I click on one copy, it's linked with the other. If I move one, the other goes with it. And we'll just start with that for now. So we got our font, we got our styles, we're ready for the next layer, which is the duplicate layer. I'm just about 12 minutes in, so I'm going to say I know it's going to take longer than just a couple of minutes. So we're going to stop the video here, and we will continue in our next round to do the part where we do the bottom layer. Or maybe that's the top. We'll see.